Everybody's crazy but me. Everybody's nutty as can be. Forming gangs, waging wars, paint the names upon the door. You against me, us versus them. No communicado, don't give a damn. Our kids in the street are the gross casualty now. Everybody's crazy but me. Everybody's nutty as can be. Everybody's crazy but me. Everybody's crazy but me. Everybody's crazy but me.
Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, this is the girl George and the Dragons Radio Show. Today we have Jackson Hart. He used to play with the Beau Brummels. Probably you people in San Francisco remember the Beau Brummels. Everyone thought they were from England, but they were really one of the 60s San Francisco groups that did Laugh, Laugh. I thought I'd die. It wasn't funny to me. You know that one. Okay, so here we have Jackson Hart. Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
So you live in the Philippines now, huh?
I've been there. Basically, right now, I'm based in Medford, Oregon. I'm staying with an old musician friend of mine. We're working on a CD up here, so I'll be in the States for a while at least.
How long you been living down in the Philippines? That sounds kind of cool. Exotic.
I first went about 20 years ago.
Wow,
and,
that's a long time.
So I lived there most of the last 20 years.
So how did you end up in the Philippines?
Oh, a guy wanted me to sing in a club over there, and I did, and I kind of fell in love with the easier lifestyle. Less of a rat race than being in America, so I just kind of dropped out and went over there.
So is there places for a musician to work over there?
Not a lot. I didn't do much playing. It was mostly just singing.
So how did you survive? Did you have to get a regular job or something there?
Oh yeah. I used to work in clubs. I had a little money put away, so I got by. Like I said, it's a much lower cost lifestyle over there. So cool. It didn't cost a lot to be there.
So you weren't with the Beau Brummels back in the beginning. When did you join them?
No, I didn't get into it until the late 70s. They recorded their last Warner Brothers album in 75. About 2 years later, Declan Mulligan started up a band, and it kind of grew out of his efforts. And I joined in then, and eventually all the original members came through the band in my years of involvement with the band, except John Peterson. He sat in on occasion, but something always seemed to happen. He wanted to rejoin, but it never worked out for him, and sadly he passed away a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that's a drag. So they were from San Francisco originally, weren't they?
Yeah, the three went to a Catholic high school in San Francisco, St. Ignatius and Sacred Heart, and then Ron Meager came from Oakland, and Declan Mulligan is Irish.
I'm from there. I'm from Oakland.
Oh, are you? Yeah, well, Declan came over from
Tipperary, I was raised
Ireland.
in Oakland. Yeah, Oakland. Well, I'm in Berkeley now, so I'm still right around there.
Oh, okay.
So everybody
anyway,
thought they were English because they had that name, Beau Brummels. So
they did
that
play
was
that
during
up
the
a little
English
bit.
Invasion, huh?
They did play that up a little bit. As a matter of fact, they used to let Declan do a lot of the talking because Declan obviously wasn't an American. He was Irish.
What was he? Irish.
He was born in Tipperary, Ireland, but he has an English mother and an Irish father. And so he sounded English, so they let him do a lot of talking, and it made it really come across as an English band because of all that.
Because they seem to start right around the Charlatans time and the Flaming Groovies and the
They're
Just
before
an Airplane
they precede all of those groups. There was no Fillmore yet. They actually came in on the wave of the British invasion, so they preceded the whole San Francisco scene.
Before the Charlatans?
Yep. Yeah, the Beau Brummels, they first recorded in '64, and their songs hit the charts at the beginning of '65.
Wow.
So they actually preceded the whole Fillmore Avalon scene by a couple of years.
Well, that's cool. So what other bands have you played with?
Well, before the Beau Brummels, I was in a band, used to play around our contemporaries were, Mike Wilhelm and his band, Loose Gravel, and Eddie Money. We were a band called the Pine Street Band. We're somewhat derivative.
Mike Wilhelm used to play with me back in the 70s.
Yeah, I knew you knew Mike. Mike's a great guy. I really played with him on a few occasions, and he's a good guy. Great guitar player.
Yeah.
But so we used to play the same clubs, back in the. This was, I'd say, early 70s, somewhere around in there.
70s was
Mid-70s.
Loose Gravel. That's when he was playing with me.
Right.
I was running the coffee gallery back then, back when I first came back from Nashville.
Oh, were you?
In 1973, I ran the coffee gallery for a year, so I booked the acts. That's how I met Michael. Well, I knew him before was the Charlatans because I knew George Hunter. But, I mean, when he started playing with me, it was because I ran the open mic, so, of course, he started backing me up, too. And then I booked him all the time on the weekends and stuff, and he played with me for years after that. The tattoo balls and all those things, and he was on my TV show. Michael's great. He's a great musician.
Yeah, and he ended up in the Flaming Groovies. I got a kick out of that.
Yeah.
Roy Loney's a friend of mine. I actually played on one of Roy's albums, an album called No Dice.
Oh, really? Roy Loney was on my TV show, so I got video of Roy Loney.
Yeah, I saw one video on YouTube at a place called Owl's or something like that.
Well, there's some that I did on at the studio. So the clearest video of Roy Loney is mine. That's from the Girl George TV show. I got about 5 or 6 songs of him on there, and Dirk Dirkson's on the same show.
Yeah, I saw a clip of Dirk Dirksen on your site.
Yeah,
I remember Dirk Dirksen.
Yeah, Pearl Harbor and the Explosions and Blue Cheer and Wavy Gravy. Oh, and Beautiful Day. Some of the guys from Beautiful Day were on there too. Remember them?
Yeah, I played with one of those fellows, Mitch Holman, the bass player.
That's one. That's one that was on my show.
He used to sit in with us when we played in Brisbane.
Did you know Naomi Ruth Eisenberg?
Only by name. I never met her that I know of.
Because she played with Dan Hicks on Hot Legs. And she played with me on the best video ever made of me was at Al's Bar. And that's when she played fiddle with me, behind me, and she's great, fucking amazing fiddle player.
All right.
So who else have you played with?
Well, a lot of the people that I played with, I played with, having met them through the Beau Brummels or the band backing them up. We went on, Sal and I, when we were running the Beau Brummels out of Reno, ended up on a tour called 30 Years of Rock and Roll. And as a result, we played with a lot of, old rock luminaries, people you hear on the radio but never meet. And, I got to play with Joey Mullins' Badfinger, and I got to play with, Cub Coda, Brownsville Station, and Dennis Yo's Classics 4. Al Wilson, the guy that sang Show and Tell, and The Snake. And on and on. There was quite a few people that we got an opportunity to actually play with. You know, the band
Did you
itself,
ever,
the Beau Brummels.
did you ever come across Love and Spoonfuls?
No, never came across any of them. Not while I was in the band.
Oh, I knew them back in the 60s. They were cool.
Yeah, I just saw the Love and Spoonful at an Indian casino here about a month ago.
What? The Love and Spoonfuls?
Yeah.
Oh, well, Zolly's
they,
dead. Zolly's the one that I knew, and he's been dead for years.
He died, but his
but
replacement is Jerry Yester. His replacement
Jerry
is
was
still
the drummer, wasn't he? Wasn't Jerry the drummer?
No, the drummer was Joe.
Joe,
what's his last
Joe
name?
was a Joe. I don't know.
Joe
yeah,
Butler.
It was Joe.
And
Joe
he's
Butler,
moved out
and
front.
Steve was on
Steve Boone's
bass.
there, Joe Butler, and Jerry Yester. They're the three of them work and Jerry Yester's a very good singer. Sadly, John Sebastian has lost his voice. He can't sing anymore.
Yeah,
and,
it seems that way because I've seen him on PBS, emceeing for those oldie bands, and it didn't seem like he could talk much anymore.
No, he could
That's
speak
weird.
all right. It's just, but he's
no, his
singing
speaking
voice
was really bad. His speaking was really bad. Yeah. You could
unfortunately,
tell he wouldn't be able to sing.
Something happened to his vocal cords. I don't know. I read up on it, but I forgot most of what I read. There's a reason for it, but he's lost his singing voice. That is a drag.
Because he was brilliant.
But they put on a good show. They're really good. You know, they do all the hits and they do them well.
So the only original one is Steve Boone, huh?
Well, Joe Butler's the original drummer.
Oh, Joe Butler's still there. So it's Joe Butler and Steve? Okay.
Yeah, and he's moved out front. He plays the auto harp and he plays a little bit of acoustic guitar. And
who's a drummer?
They've got a new drum. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he's a good singer. He sang one of their minor hits called Full Measure back when the original band was active. So he's a very good vocalist. And so is Jerry Yester.
I never met them. I just knew Zolly mostly, and then Steve was around too. So I got some pictures with them. I was
Zolly
with
and
them
Zolly,
right there.
quite a character.
Yeah, I was with them that night of the bust. When that bust happened, I was with them that night.
Oh my goodness!
I've got
really?
pictures of me with them was that very night, and I seen Zolly a couple of years later, and he said the guy that took those pictures, because I handed somebody my camera. I said, "Here, take some pictures of us." The guy that took the pictures was the cop that busted him that night, and they didn't let me go with them. That was at the committee, and they were going to a party. And I said, "Can I go?" And he said, "Oh, you can't go tonight." So they knew it was happening. And so anyhow, the bust happened that night, and then I didn't see Zolly for like a year after that. And the manager told me, no, Zolly didn't do it. So I was fighting with the committee, which were all my friends, Howard Hessman and them were all my friends. And I said, no, he didn't do it. And they said, yes, he did. And they said, no, he didn't. So about a year later, I knew Chris Thompson by then, and Chris was playing at the boarding house. I went to see Chris play at the boarding house, and there's Zolly playing with Chris Thompson. And so I ran into Zolly in the bar, and I said, did you do it? And he said, yes. I go, oh, my God. He says, I had to. They were going to deport me. And I gave him my lawyers and all that shit to get him out of it, but that ended the Love and Spoonfuls because they got him as a rat, because he had turned over on the head of the committee. The committee was the gods of the whole underground in San Francisco. The committee, the actors, and it was the head of the committee
Peter Boner
that got busted. Oh, how horrible! So that was the end of the Love and Spoonfuls.
Yeah, well, that
and they were the hottest band going. They had a hit after hit after hit after hit.
Yeah, they
and
did
it was
go
all
on for
over
a while
marijuana.
Yeah.
It was all over a little marijuana shit. What a drag. Things have changed a lot. Now marijuana is practically legal everywhere. But music is kind of my baby,
I understand. Same here.
So what do you do? You play guitar?
When I met Dick Mulligan, I was a guitar player, lead guitar player, and he wanted a bass player, and I desperately wanted to join him. So what I did is I he didn't need a guitar player, but he wanted a bass player. So I had never played bass before, and he didn't know I did this until many years later. I brought a tape recorder in and taped everything he did, and borrowed a bass from an old band member that I played with, and I sat down and studied all of his material and learned how to play bass to it. And then I casually asked him if I could sit in with him some night on bass, and he said, "Okay, yeah." And he heard me singing. He already knew I could sing. And when he saw that I could play bass, all of a sudden, he looked at me the first night we were playing with his eyes wide open, and I said to myself, I'm in. And I was right, and I ended up playing with Deck for nearly 20 years, off and on.
I've known other people that did that. This guy that played with the Mutants did that. He was a guitar player, and he wanted to play with the Mutants, so he learned how to play bass just to play with them. And then Paul McCartney was a guitar player, too, until they said, you're the bass player. Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Everybody wants to be the guitar player and the singer and the front man, but, somebody has to play bass and drums and all the other stuff, too, right?
Well, it's easier to play guitar when you're a singer. Playing bass and singing it takes a little extra work because you're playing a rhythm instrument. You got to lock in with the drummer and then sing up front. But you learn. So
well, Paul McCartney don't seem to have trouble with it.
No. When you got to do it, you learn, or else you get out of the business.
And he's left-handed on top of it.
So am I.
Oh, you are? Cool.
Yeah, I play, but I'm different than Paul. I play left-handed upside down. I'll take a right-handed guitar.
He has it strung different?
He and Jimi Hendrix are left-handers. They string properly. The bass string is on the top. But there are some musicians.
I heard Hendrix played upside down, but I guess not.
No, he doesn't.
So. I guess
if you look at a photo, his bass string is on the top. He reverses strings.
No, I've never looked. It's just somebody mentioned it on the web, so I just assumed they knew what they're talking about. I guess they didn't.
No, this is a subject I've studied. I know who plays upside down like I do.
Yeah.
Albert King was one. Albert Collins was one. They're upside-down lefties.
Yeah.
England
so
and John
What's
Ford
your
Coley.
When's your birthday?
June 21st.
June. What's that? May, June.
Well, I'm on the cusp of Gemini and
Taurus.
Cancer. Joey Molland of Badfinger and I are born on the same day. So we discovered that when we were
Cancer.
on tour together.
Oh, it's Christopherson that's born there. It's a piece on the Cancer side. And Bobby Newers is born there. And Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys.
Beach Boys.
And Dylan is on the other side. So Dylan's on the Taurus Gemini side, and Christopherson and Brian Wilson and Bobby Newers are right on the same side as you, right around that Gemini Cancer thing.
Paul McCartney's
so that's
in there
a very
somewhere,
creative
too.
place. That's a very creative place to be, huh?
I suppose.
How old are you?
I'm almost 68.
Oh, you're young. I'm 70. I'm older than you.
Yeah, I'm a young guy. At least I feel young. I don't feel old.
So you have a new record that you're making now, or a CD?
Well, we're getting together with a musician I used to play with before I was in the Beau Brummels, and he linked up with the drummer of Firefall here in Medford. He moved here. His name is Sandy Feek. He's been playing with Firefall for over 30 years, and he's still active. But he built a recording studio in a modular building in the back of his house, and it's a really nice studio. So we talked and said, why don't we record a CD? So I came back from the Philippines to get involved in this project. And I just spoke to Declan Mulligan, Ron Meager, and Ron Elliott of the Beau Brummels, the original members, all in the last couple of days, and I'm encouraging them to, to do guest appearances on our CD. So I'm looking forward to dealing with that.
So what are you playing on it? What are you playing on it? Guitar, bass?
Well, I'll be playing guitar. I'll be playing guitar and bass, and writing, several of the original songs. Actually, several of the songs are songs that we used to play routinely in the Beau Brummels, and I never did get them recorded. So I'm going to do that.
And you're going to
be
singing them too, right? Singing them too?
Yes, I will. Mhm.
That's great.
That's always been my main forte as a vocalist. I learned to play guitar and bass to back up my singing.
Me too. So they can find you on Facebook. They can find you on Facebook as John Jackson Hart, and then how you say that last name, H-J-O.
That's why I have a stage name. Nobody can pronounce my last name. It's pronounced short. It has a silent H.
Where's it from?
H-J-O-R-T. I'm sorry?
What kind of name is it?
It's Danish.
What kind of name? Danish.
Yeah, my father's Danish. And
so where
I started out
originally?
using.
Where are you from originally?
Well, I'm a Bay Area guy all the way. I
was
born in Stockton, but I lived in San Francisco, from time that I can remember. They moved there when I was a little baby, so San Francisco guy.
Okay, we've got to end now. Thank you for being on my show. It was great talking to you. We will look for your Facebook page and find all your stuff on that. So this is the Girl George and the Dragons Radio Show. Saying see you later, alligator.
Everybody's crazy but me. Everybody's nutty as can be. Forming gangs, waging wars, paint the names upon the door. You against me, us versus them. No communicado, don't give a damn. Our kids in the street are the gross casualties now. Everybody's crazy but me. Everybody's nutty as can be. Raping the oceans with derricks for oil, lusting for money, divvies and spoils. Build bigger bombs, store 'em all up. More bombs, they won't take our stuff. Push the wrong button, we're all history now. Everybody's crazy but me. Everybody's nutty as can be. Swirling out, stark raving mad, grabbing, gouging, slashing the fed. Once they want a piece and scream to be free. Now everybody's crazy but me. Everybody's nutty as can be. Just not easy. Everybody's crazy but me. Everybody's nutty as can be. Whirling out, start raving mad, grabbing, gouging, slashing the fat. Once they want a piece and scream to be free. Now everybody's crazy but me. Everybody's crazy but me.